Greetings and welcome to another video. So if you noticed, you may have noticed that Linden Lab has updated the terms of service. You will get this pop-up when you get to the login screen. What has changed is listed here. It is below the table of contents. So if you scroll to about maybe 25%, so we're going to start at the top. This is what you will see when you first get to the login screen. So if you scroll past the table of contents of related policies, which is section 8, it will tell you what is changed, which is updates to the contents of the linked age play policy effective today, May the 2nd, 2024. So you click on that and it will take you, and here we are at the Second Life official wiki pops up in your browser. So we're going to go ahead and read over it because this is the important bit that everybody needs to know. Policy. Second Life is a platform made for adults. Minors 16 years of age and above are subject to our age-restricted content policy. Then there's a link. When you click on it, it just explains further about the age-restricted content policy. It's not very long. I'll go ahead and tell you. When you register for Second Life, you provide your birth date because you're required to be at least 16 years old. 16 to 17 years old, you can access regions and search results that have a general mature rating. If you are 13 to 15 years old, you may be allowed if you are restricted to the estate of a sponsoring organization, such as an educational one. 13 to 15 years old, you can access Second Life through an affiliated organization and will be restricted to the private estate of that organization. Only avatars approved by that organization will be able to enter these estates. You can't use Second Life search or purchase items from the marketplace. To visit designated regions in Second Life or view adult rated search results, you must be 18 years or older. Estate and parcel owners of adult rated regions must limit access to residents who are 18 years of age or older. Now, what I've just explained to you, that is not new. It's been like that for years, but I wanted to just go ahead and break it down, these two links, because I want to get to the really important stuff, because I know a lot of people are anxious and may not know or may know and have questions. And well, I'm here to help with that. Let's get on to it. Linden Lab is committed to the safety of children and has zero tolerance towards any material that features or promotes CSE. The sexualization and sexual exploitation of children is strictly prohibited. This includes, but is not limited to, the following, which means it's all of this, but it may be other stuff which hasn't been listed yet. Visual depictions of a child or a child avatar engaging in SE or SSA, sharing fantasies about or promoting engagement in child SE, sexualized commentaries about or directed at child presenting avatars and or any individual that identifies as a child, links to third-party sites that host CSE material, expressing a desire to obtain materials that feature CSE, recruiting, advertising, or expressing an interest in a sex act involving a C, or harboring and or transporting a C for sexual purposes. Sending SEM to a child or child presenting avatar, engaging or trying to engage a C or a CP avatar in a sexual EC, trying to obtain SEM from a child or a CP avatar, or trying to engage a C or a CP avatar in SA through blackmail or other incentives, identifying alleged victims of CSE by name or image, promoting or normalizing sexual attraction to M's as a form of identity or sexual orientation. I thought this was very interesting. Moving on. Residents presenting as child avatars shall be prohibited from the following: entering any region rated adult. Residents must change to a non child or non childlike avatar to visit adult rated regions. Engaging or participating in any event or location where nudity or SA is present, encouraged, and or expected. Wearing genitalia, sexual attachments, including clothing, attachments, or HUDs created to and or worn by C avatars to indicate genitalia, whether visible or not. Example: as a child avatar or a child presenting avatar, if you are wearing something that accentuates or gives an impression that you have adult like bulges in places that are located in your pelvic area or up on your torso area, that is against the policy. Child avatars are to not have any genitalia or any indication that they do have genitalia. Think of a Ken doll with no attachment. Think of a Barbie doll with no lady garden and no boobs. If you could come up with a better example, please list it in the comments below. That's the best I can do. Allergies are killing me. Being fully nude, child avatar content creators are required to add a modesty layer, which is baked into a child avatar skin or body, is not transparent, does not match the skin tone. I repeat, does not match the skin tone and may not be removed. You have until the 30th, next month, the end of next month, June the 30th, 2024, if you are a content creator, to get this sorted out. That is when it will start being enforced. Child avatars, where the focal point of the body is on the B, P, or B. Hope you're reading along, because it is YouTube after all. Participation in lewd or sexual acts in which one or more of the avatars appears to represent minors, or the depiction of such acts in images, video, textures, or text. Content for child avatars being sold in world and or on marketplace must comply with the general content rating and adhere to the following. Content intended for child avatars must be listed as general maturity. Content intended for child avatars must not be sexual and or suggestive in nature. No adult or moderate keywords in marketplace listings on child avatar content. Child avatar content creators are required to add a modesty layer, which is baked into the child avatar skins or bodies, is not transparent, does not match the skin tone, and may not be removed. The following talks about enforcement. Linden Lab reserves the right to immediately suspend or terminate the accounts, as well as remove content and assets of residents who violate these standards. Further down under the discussion, now this part, there's been a lot of debate on what is or what determines a child avatar. And a lot of people on the forums and on Reddit have said that Linden Lab actually hasn't covered this. Like, what is a child avatar? To me, it's quite simple, but we'll get into that in a minute. In some cases, there may be an element of subjectivity as to whether an avatar or other image appears to be a minor, Objective factors which will be used to decide include whether an avatar has childlike facial features, is child size, has clothing or accessories generally associated with children, and whether, based on the circumstances, an avatar is speaking or acting like a child. My mommy said. Note, merely having a childlike avatar does not violate this policy. It is not our intent to banish childlike avatars in and of themselves. And then down below, if you are in doubt as to whether an activity may be interpreted as AP, we request you err on the side of caution and desist. Please note that some countries' laws may impose penalties for graphics, drawings, or anime that resemble child porn. I want to make this clear. I am just a messenger. I am just giving you information that Linden Lab has put out there. So do not shoot me. But I want to point out regarding the please note that some countries' laws may impose penalties for graphics, drawings, or anime. Yes, anime. There's a lot of it in Second Life that resemble child pornography, even where no children have been involved. Reading that, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be taken as it's also disallowed in Second Life now, or if the country that you were in where it's illegal, and if you share it or show it in Second Life because it's illegal in your country, which is a jurisdiction of where the material came from, would make it be illegal if it was in Second Life. In order to avoid all that complication, the advice from Linden Lab is to err on the side of caution and desist. If you are in doubt as to whether an activity may be interpreted as HP, that's how I have perceived it, even where no children have been involved. To report a violation of the policy, select Help, Report Abuse. You just AR it. We're going to go on to the child avatar FAQ. So this is the FAQ on what we just went over, which is the Linden Lab official clarification of policy disallowing age play. This is a table of contents, so we're going to go through it. When will the modesty layer requirement begin to be enforced? June the 30th, 2024. Does the height or gender of my avatar define it as a child avatar? No. We review many factors from an abuse report to come to a final conclusion, and height or gender alone are not grounds for governance action. So don't worry about the height because it says it right here. Does the height or gender of my avatar define it as a child avatar? No. Linden Lab reviews other factors in addition in order to come to a final conclusion. So if we go back, objective factors which will be used to decide include whether an avatar has childlike facial features, is child size, has clothing or accessories generally associated with children, and whether, based on the circumstances, an avatar is speaking or acting like a child. So I would take that to mean if you have a short avatar, for example, think of dwarves, little people. They're very short, but they dress in an adult way, when they're adult. I mean, they're still a dwarf. If you were to imagine an appearance like that in Second Life, that would not be considered a child avatar. Because once you add the personality of an adult, the vocabulary of an adult, then it can easily be seen that, okay, well, that person isn't a child avatar, they're just a dwarf. That's what LL is saying in regards to the height. It's all about a combination of factors. All right, so moving on. How do you define a child avatar? We are relying on the community to use their best judgment to determine if they are using a child avatar or not. Wow. Talk about a get out clause right there. We are relying on the community to use their best judgment to determine if they are using a child avatar or not. No wonder half the grid is confused. Linden Lab, relying on the community, basically to self police as to what is a child avatar. Oh dear, that is a lot to ask. Considering that we are here with this video going over the things that we're going over because of what may or may not have happened, but because we are where we are today, breaking down what is in this video that was released by Linden Lab, something must have happened. So perhaps Linden Lab needs to self police themselves more. We are a user base. We are asking for guidance, a true definition of what defines a child avatar. Everybody has their own interpretations. And as a user base, we're all asking, and what do we get? We're just going to leave it up to the community. Just figure it out amongst yourselves. Yeah, it's not a very good answer. No, it is not. Creating a list of specifications for something like this can be a slippery slope, and we certainly don't want to give out directions on how to circumvent any policies. If a reasonable person would look at the features of your avatar and consider it underage, we would recommend not engaging in adult activities on that account. Apart from considering the avatar's appearance, the team considers various other factors, such as purpose for which the avatar is being used. And remember, how the avatar speaks, right? It's a combination of things. Just think if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it probably more than likely is a duck. As mentioned in other Q&As, general physical characteristics that apply to adults as well as children, such as avatar height, being of slim or petite build, gender identity, such as non binary or gender non conforming, or ethnicity, are not sole or intrinsic qualities that might qualify an avatar as a child avatar. So, here, do you see the problem? I see a problem. Let's let's point out the problem. Let us point out the problem. In regards to how do you define a child avatar, Linden Lab tells us that they are relying on the community to use our best judgment to determine if we are using a child avatar or not. And then they also say general physical characteristics that apply to adults as well as children, such as avatar height, being of slim or petite build, gender identity, or ethnicity, are not sole qualities that might qualify an avatar as a child avatar. I can see how that is confusing to a lot of the user base. But to say that Linden Lab is relying on the community to use our best judgment, this is Second Life. Really, that that says a lot right there. And the user base is asking for a definition, a determined definition of how do you define a child avatar. And I believe that question was asked in good sincerity because I believe that most of the user base don't want to break the rules. Sure, there may be some that want to break the rules. However, more of a possibility that people might not on purpose be breaking the rules if they are having to rely on their self to use their own best judgment to determine if they are using a child avatar or not. And when Linden Lab says creating a list of specifications for something like this can be a slippery slope, and they certainly don't want to give out directions on how to circumvent any policies, again, it is Second Life. When it comes to workarounds and finding ways through loopholes and that kind of stuff, there is a great history of that in Second Life, especially when things break. People find a way to go around and make it work. Now, keep it with this example. If the things that broke or did not work were fixed and did actually work, then there would be no point in finding loopholes and workarounds to make it work. I apply this example to Linden Lab not giving us a definition of what determines a child avatar, just more or less leaving it up to ourselves. That really is a big problem. It's not really setting up the community as a whole for success in denying us an actual definition of a child avatar with specifications. But hey, that's just my opinion. What is the appeal process if my account is suspended, terminated due to this new policy? The appeal process has largely remained unchanged for years. To appeal a decision or of suspension or termination against your account, you may file an abuse appeals ticket type. It says here there's no link, but I'm sure you can find it. Who reviews account appeals? We utilize an internal committee review board method that includes members of staff of the governance team and does not include the decision maker for the account action. Does every abuse appeal get reviewed? Yes, every appeal we receive is reviewed. Will my account be suspended, terminated just because someone got all their friends to report me for something I didn't do? No. The amount of reports received may not have a relevant impact on the outcome of an account investigation. Well, I think we can say this is true. Will residents be immediately terminated if it is determined they are violating any part of the new policies? Not all violations of the policy will result in an immediate termination. Depending upon the nature and severity of the violation, governance has a suspension tree that is utilized to make attempts to educate the resident first. However, if those attempts fail and the behavior is continued, it will result in termination. For the most severe offenses, the immediate action will still be to terminate their access to Second Life. Is every abuse report for SA reviewed by the governance team? Yes. If I report someone for SAP, will you tell me the outcome of the investigation? No. We cannot share any updates on abuse reports, investigations due to the investigative process that takes place, the depth of information and material that is considered for every case, and maintaining integrity and account privacy as a result of the investigation. How do I report suspected SAP? See this guide, which is on how to fill out an abuse report, and then it explains how to make an abuse report. I reported someone for SAP. They are still in world. Why? We investigate every report for SAP and rely on our thorough investigative process to both validate and prove or disprove the allegations submitted. If the evidence and backing investigation do not yield multiple verifiable points of proof on allegation, then no action may be taken. If I have adult furniture animations in my house in a moderate rated region, well, I need to remove it. No, as long as the policy is abided by. Child avatars should not be engaging or participating in any event or location where nudity and or SA is present, encouraged and or expected. To be clear, The presence of adult furniture or animations in content does not grant the expectation of use. Let me read that again. The presence of adult furniture or animations in content does not grant the expectation of use. So, as a child avatar, as an example, you could be standing next to an adult couch or a piece of furniture with adult animations in it, and that's okay, as long as you're not sitting on it or engaging with it. So, here's an example. I have adult furniture in my house. My house is on moderate land. It is my land, but it is in a moderate region on mainland. Now, I am using my couch because I am sitting on it. If I were to stand up, and let's pretend I'm a child avatar, okay? It's the couch with adult animations in it. I am standing here as a child avatar, just pretend with me. And there is no guarantee that the presence of me being close to this adult animated couch will be used by me. So the presence of this couch with adult animations in it does not grant the expectation of use. So, me, let's pretend I'm a child avatar, but clearly I am not. The presence of this near my avatar on a moderate sim or region does not grant the expectation of use. Can I still have adult furniture on my moderate land? Yes, you can. That is how I perceive it because that is how it is worded. Likewise, if you, as a child avatar, are traveling through moderate rated regions, which may have furniture but are not engaging with the content, there will not be a presumption of engagement with the adult animations based on your presence. I already have a child avatar that does not have a built-in modesty layer. Can I still use that since I purchased it already? No. Going forward, child avatars will be prohibited from being fully nude. Can I wear a swimsuit as a child avatar? Yes, as long as the swimsuit is general rated and does not accentuate genital areas. As a child avatar, wearing a swimsuit must be in and around and on a G rated sim. I take this to mean that if you are a child avatar in a swimsuit, don't be in an adult sim. If you are a child avatar in a swimsuit, don't be on a moderate sim. You know, just in case. If you are a child avatar in a swimsuit on a G rated sim and an adult approaches you, speaking to you about things that are prohibited that we went over in the clarification of AP policy, you as a child avatar person can AR that adult for breaking the AP policy. People will go to G rated places and do things or try to do things. Those are the things that should be reported. Traveling through a moderate sim, and if the child avatar is approached by an adult avatar in a malicious manner, then the child avatar person can report the adult avatar. If you are a short avatar wearing a bathing suit but you have a tattoo on your face, your arms and legs are dictionaries, and your mannerisms and your text, your vocabulary and your speech is that of an adult, me personally, I would not consider that a child avatar. I would just consider that a very short person or a dwarf that apparently likes to wear tattoos. Those are my examples. Let's move on. I am a child avatar in SL. How do I shop for anything? When many of the popular stores for furniture, AOs, gestures, etc., have both regular and adult versions in their moderate rated store. As stated above, child avatars cannot engage or participate in the use of adult versions of such content. It may be best to create an outfit with a non human or a non child human persona to run errands such as shopping, such as any of the default Second Life avatars, robots, etc. So if you need to go somewhere that you're not allowed to go to as a child avatar, then you need to put your adult avatar on and then go do the thing. If someone is walking through a region wearing exposed genitalia and walks past me, a child avatar, will I be in trouble if someone takes a picture and reports me? No, our investigative process can determine accidental exposure. Again, child avatars should not be engaging or participating in any event or location where nudity and or sexual activity is present, encouraged, and or expected. The presence of adult content does not warrant the expectation of use. You see, they have said this again. The presence of adult content does not warrant the expectation of use. The governance team established or have in world office hours. Yes, however, this does not include the discussion of reports anyone has filed, the outcome of investigations, or potential actions taken. These meetings will take place monthly beginning on May the 9th, 2024. Details are available on the Linden Lab official users group. So this is the users group calendar right here. I will include this link in the description below. Where dreams come alive. There's a channel you should check out. Let me testify. That was a lot. But did you think we were done? Oh no. Oh no, no, no. There's a bit more. So let's get on to it. This is the webpage, the Second Life terms and conditions, the Second Life policy, terms of service, privacy policy, agreements. There has been some other changes. What you do is you scroll down to the bottom and it tells you the changes. So we've already went over the AP policy. Section 5, that is what we're going to do now. So Section 5, conduct by users of Second Life. In addition to the rules of conduct set forth in the terms of service, you agree that you will not use robots or other automated means to increase traffic to any virtual land. That's not new. It's been around. I guess they're just making it clearer. Operate or profit from a game of chance. If you want more information, you can see the policy regarding wagering in Second Life. We have no more gotchas because it was a game of chance, gaining by profit from chance. You will not operate or profit from a virtual bank in Second Life. For more information, please see the banking policy. You will not post, display, or transmit any content that is explicitly sexual, intensely violent, or otherwise designated as adult under our maturity ratings, except as set forth in those ratings. Basically, that means no adult stuff that is explicit on G-rated land or moderate land. You will not violate our Second Life mainland policies, each of which is incorporated into this Second Life policy. That hasn't changed. You will not violate our maturity content guidelines. A region designated general is not allowed to advertise or make available content or activity that is sexually explicit, violent, or depicts nudity. That's not new either. If you are an adult, impersonate a minor for the purpose of interacting with a minor using Second Life, or stalk, harass, or engage in any sexual, suggestive, lewd, lascivious, or otherwise inappropriate conduct with minors on Second Life, or attempt to contact or meet with such minor outside Second Life, including without limitation electronically or physically, if you have reason to know or Second Life concludes that you should have known you were interacting with a minor on Second Life, or otherwise engage in any conduct that violates our teen safety guidelines. Don't do any of this if you're an adult. Impersonate for the purpose of interacting with another non-adult, right? This has been reworded. You will not post, display, or transmit any material, object, or text that encourages, represents, or facilitates sexual AP, i.e., using childlike avatars in a SM. This activity is grounds for immediate termination. You may review our full age play policy here, which we did. Understand and agree that we may report any and all such incidents and any and all of your corresponding personal information to any authorities we deem appropriate, whether or not it in and of itself violates the law of your or any jurisdiction. This, I think this is new. I'm not really sure what this is. You may not use SL Gaming as a prefix in the root object name field of any content unless otherwise approved by Linden Lab. SL Gaming, maybe that's like for the skill game stuff, maybe. While we are here, there's something very, very important out of all the things we went over and out of the whole shebang of the terms of service that I want to point out, because it is absolutely crucial that everyone absolutely understands this. Is Section 9, releases, disclaimers, liability, limits, and indemnification. 9.1. Linden Lab is not liable for its users' actions, and you release Linden Lab from any claims relating to other users. You agree not to hold Linden Lab liable for the content, actions, or inactions of other users. As a condition of access to the service, you release Linden Lab and its officers, directors, shareholders, agents, subsidiaries, and employees from claims, demands, losses, liabilities, and damages, actual and consequential, of every kind and nature, known and unknown, arising out of or in any way connected with any dispute you have or claim to have with one or more users, including whether or not Linden Lab becomes involved in any resolution or attempted resolution of the dispute. If you are a California resident, you waive California Civil Code Section 1542, which says a general release does not extend to claims which the creditor does not know or suspect to exist in his favor at the time of executing the release, which, if known by him, must have materially affected his settlement of the debitor. If you are a resident of another jurisdiction, you waive any comparable statute or doctrine. You agree and understand that Linden Lab does not control and is not responsible for information you provide to parties other than Linden Lab. Obviously, this section here is to California residents. I just read it. I'm sorry, I can't explain it because I don't live in California. This here, everyone needs to fully realize this. It's nothing new in the toss. It's been in the toss for ages, for years, but a lot of people just don't know about it. I think it was 2 years ago, I did a whole 10 video series breaking down every segment of the terms of service and the community guidelines. It has its own playlist on the channel. You're welcome to it. So, Linden Lab is not liable for its users' actions, and you release Linden Lab from any claims relating to other users. So you agree not to hold Linden Lab liable for the content you come across or actions of others or inactions of others. This also includes officers of Linden Lab, directors, shareholders, agents, subsidiaries of Linden Lab, and employees of Linden Labs from claims, demands, losses, liabilities, and damages, actual and consequential, of every kind and nature, known and unknown. So that could be money, that could be virtual property, that could be time, that could be broken promises, that could be pretty much any and everything, actual and consequential. So there's that too. Of every kind and nature, known and unknown, arising out of or in any way connected with any dispute you have or claim to have with one or more users, including whether or not Linden Lab becomes involved in any resolution or attempted resolution of the dispute. I just wanted to make sure it was out there because I realized people don't read the toss. And you know what? I don't blame them. It's a lot. But I read it. And again, I did a 10-part video series on all of it. Well, that was a lot to read, a lot to explain. I do apologize once again for my allergies. I am grateful that you've watched and or listened. I hope you learned what you need to know about the new policies. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I love reading the comments and replying to them. And that's going to be it from me. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.